So the issue is, how do you design one cockpit that can fit the most individuals? Over 4,000 pilots. And he measured them on 10 dimensions of size. And he asked a very simple question. How many of these pilots are average on all 10 dimensions? The assumption was that most of them would be. Do you know how many really were? 0. Proved there was no such thing as an average pilot. Most of us have never sat in the cockpit of a $150 million fighter jet, right? But we've all sat in the classroom. If the fighter pilot example has taught us anything, it's this. If you design those learning environments on average, odds are you've designed them for nobody. Every single student has a jagged learning profile. It means that the average hurts everyone. And I have to say, I know because I was one of those students. So today, I'm a faculty member at Harvard, but I'm also a high school dropout. It gets better. I was a high school dropout with a 0.9 GPA. For those of you that don't know, that's pretty bad. And the thing is, because for every one person like me, there are millions who worked as hard, who had the ability, but who were unable to overcome the drag of an educational environment designed on average. And their talent is forever lost to us.
하버드 대학교에서 젊고 유망한 학자로 주목받고 있는 토드 로즈 교수. 그는 학생들의 다양성을 존중하는 교육 환경을 연구 중입니다.
Oh yes, it's extremely creative. Yeah, it's a very creative collaboration. When I work with him, you know, his troublemaker personality comes out, but we're able to harness it in a way that leads to, you know, more ideas. You know, even if there's an idea that most other professors or most other scientists agree, he doesn't hesitate to try to knock it down if he can. So his
or IQ tests are explicitly
세계 최고의 수재들을 가르치고 있는 토드 로즈. 그는 졸업 점수 미달로 고등학교를 그만둬야 했던 꼴찌 중의 꼴찌였습니다.
That maybe you got admitted by accident, like. I didn't even know where Harvard was at first. I mean, no one where I grew up ever thought about this.
보스턴에서 비행기로 6시간 거리. 토드 로즈는 유타주에 있는 한 시골 마을에서 태어났습니다.
Definitely like an emotional reaction to it, and like at first you kind of remember some of the bad stuff, and then you remember a lot of the good stuff, and you realize it's actually a really pretty nice place to have grown up.
자신의 가능성을 스스로도 알지 못했던 어린 시절. 학교는 공부 못하는 아이에게 우호적이지 않았는데요. 잔뜩 구겨진 마음으로 학교에서 돌아올 때마다 부모님은 어린 토드를 꼭 안아주곤 했습니다.
Oh, I've missed you.
Missed you too.
How was your flight?
Not too bad. I'm a little tired.
Been dang too long.
I'm gonna go put my stuff downstairs and.
하루에도 몇 번씩 구제불능이라고 말하는 선생님과 손가락질하는 친구들. 온종일 비난에 시달린 아이에게 부모님은 유일한 버팀목이었습니다.
So when he brought home these low grades, and it was frustrating, but yet I knew that wasn't a measure of intelligence. the bad grades and the principal calling me in and the teachers being frustrated, my whole focus was on how can I get this kid through his school years on his own where he feels good about himself.
다섯 남매 중 장남이었던 토드 로즈는 어린 시절부터 장난꾸러기였습니다. 중학생 땐 주의력 결핍 과잉 행동장애, 즉 ADHD 진단을 받았는데요. 공부는 늘 꼴찌였고 친구들로부터 인기가 없었던 그는 심한 괴롭힘을 당하기도 했습니다.
Back my senior year in high school before they kicked me out, I got all Fs, so failing everything. But so like for me, school became this like awful place. Like there was a stretch in 7th grade where the bus driver would let him off. He would just chase me and beat me up like every single day. Because I was a little annoying, but still, probably didn't deserve that. But so for me, like getting up and going to school meant like dealing with like bullies, and so it wasn't so much about trying to learn. It was like just trying to survive.
It was the one. I remember this tree. As a little kid, this was the place you just climb. It used to be a lot bigger. It's a nice place to hide. You kind of get away from everything.
I remember this tree. It was one of your favorite places to go.
I don't want these neighbors to be like, why are you?
집 앞에 남아있는 오래된 사과나무. 친구들로부터 괴롭힘을 당하거나 선생님에게 혼인할 때 토드는 이곳에 숨곤 했습니다.
Todd was always trouble. Every day there was something with Todd. One time we got a call from school where he had taken some stink bombs and lit them off in class. Which class was that?
It was art class in 7th grade.
Yeah.
You're only supposed to throw one. So I just grabbed 6 of them and threw them, and it was so bad that they had to clear out the whole class and take us outside because it was like.
전화벨이 울리면 마음부터 졸여야 했던 부모님. 성적표나 주변의 평가에서 처음부터 자유로울 수 있었던 건 아닙니다.
It's already painful, so all the negative things that would come back just really hurt. It just made you feel really sad. Sometimes I would go to my room and cry. I think it's trial and error because nothing else was working. You could put him in his room, but he, it didn't change anything. You could yell, you'd be mad at him and take away things, and it just didn't affect him.
I think I took pictures out of here.
그 역시 공부 잘하는 아이가 되고 싶었습니다. 3일간 밤을 새며 시를 쓰는 등 과제에 의욕적으로 도전해보기도 했지만 그는 이미 공부 못하는 아이로 낙인 찍혀 있을 뿐이었습니다.
When it came back, not only did I not win, I got an F. And I said, like, how did I get an F on this thing? And he said, you couldn't have possibly written that poem. And then I was upset. So for me, the lesson that I took from that, and I remember like it was yesterday, is everyone said, if you just tried, like you'd be fine, you'd do well. But I did try, and I still got an F.
The one that I kept is the draft. Like he did a first draft, and then he typed it up and turned it in. I took it to him, I showed it to him, and I told him, he did write this. And I think to the teacher it was like, all right, it was no big deal. But.
어머니의 변호에도 불구하고 결국 성적은 고쳐지지 않았습니다. 자신을 믿어주지 않는 시선에 아이는 학교가 더 싫어졌습니다.
They're always under attack. They are exhausted. They feel beaten because they're always under attack. Making sure that in his life he knew that he was loved and that being home would be a safe place to be, and just showing him that love, making sure that he was secure.
It's like without that safe space, then I was never going to be able to do anything other than keep getting in trouble and end up with a different life than I have now.
퍼듀 대학교와 갤럽의 공동조사 역시 정서적 지지의 힘에 주목합니다. 미국 3만 명의 대학 졸업자에게 삶의 질을 결정짓는 5가지 요소를 얼마나 충족하고 있는지 물었는데요. 응답자 중 오직 11%만이 경제적 안정을 포함한 5가지 측면에서 모두 성공적인 삶을 살고 있었습니다. 그런데 이 비율은 명문대 졸업생과 일반 대학 졸업생 사이에 큰 차이가 없었는데요. 성공과 강한 상관관계를 보인 것은 대학 간판이 아니라 믿어주는 사람을 만났는지 여부, 대학 시절 정서적 지원을 받은 경험이 높은 사람은 삶의 질이 2배나 더 높았습니다.
I think there's 2 of those left to figure out what to do for dinner. Forever.
부모님의 정서적 지지 속에서 자신에 대한 긍정적인 믿음을 잃지 않았던 토드 로즈.
You'll be sleeping by yourself for days. Oh, it's it.
Okay, here we go, right here.
부모님은 그가 스스로 길을 찾아갈 거라 믿고 응원해 주었습니다.
Here we go. Okay, you have the freedom of choice. You choose whatever you need to. I will give advice. Your mom will give advice. Like I said, we knew he had so much potential, but we also knew that he was never going to reach that potential until he did it himself.
토드 로즈는 고등학교를 그만둔 직후 19살의 나이로 결혼식을 올렸는데요. 아이가 태어났지만 살아갈 길이 막막했던 그에게 아버지는 새로운 도전을 권했습니다.
So I immediately had to get like a job, and I got really pretty bad jobs, the jobs you would get if you don't have a high school degree or anything. And it was just tough for like the next 2 years. Like we were on welfare. And I had like 10 jobs in 2 years. In that course of that time, my dad and I had been talking a lot and meeting, and people were saying, well, I'm just lazy. That's how they had said, I'm lazy. And my dad said, I've been watching and I don't think you're lazy. I just think you need to be challenged all the time.
그저 생활고를 해결하기 위해 누구나 쉽게 등록할 수 있는 대학에서 공부를 시작한 토드 로즈. 내면에 축적돼 있던 긍정 에너지가 드디어 발현되기 시작했습니다. 교육학 공부에 열의를 보이던 토드는 하버드 교육대학원에 진학했는데요.
He said, I got accepted to Harvard. I got accepted to Harvard, and I was just so shocked and so excited. I started screaming in the phone, oh my gosh, I'm so going to Harvard and graduating and teaching there, and that's just an amazing thing. I probably would never have thought that was possible, but I knew he would always be a good person, successful in that way.
The 2.5 years between when I got married and had my
토드 로즈 교수는 획일화된 교육과 평가 방식의 문제를 제기하며 미국 교육 체계의 변화를 이끌어가는 중입니다.
new learning environments that will blow your mind. I ended up at Harvard 7 years after I dropped out of high school. And I feel like, so right now, if a system doesn't allow that, where basically how you're performing at a young age, you get labeled and ranked, and that's going to determine your life, you've got a school system that is going to force you as parents to play that game, right? That you feel like you really can't afford to just let your kid be a kid. Right? You can't afford to have a good relationship. It's just because the truth is, it's almost for their own good that if they don't get to these best colleges and these best few spots, then life's going to be harder for them.
공부를 못해서 좋은 대학에 진학하지 못하면 실패하고 불행한 인생을 살게 될 거란 두려움. 과연 이 두려움은 진실일까요? 한국 교육고용 패널 조사를 분석한 결과 대학 수학 능력 시험에서 높은 점수를 받을수록 실제 임금도 높아졌는데요. 특히 하위권 성적이 중위권으로 오를 때보다 중위권이 상위권으로 오를 때 임금 상승률 폭은 더 커지는 것으로 분석됐습니다.
아주 좋은 대학에 가는 게 어떤 높은 임금을 받는 데 유리한 건 사실이고 적당한 대학과 뭐 아주 낮은 대학은 큰 차이가 없는 것처럼 보여지는 게 이 데이터에서 나타난 현실인 것 같습니다.
그런데 한 가지 흥미로운 사실을 발견했습니다. 수능 상위권과 하위권의 임금 차이가 연간 300만 원 정도로 우리가 체감하는 것보다 크지 않았다는 것인데요. 바로 좋은 대학에 갈수록 높은 임금을 받는다는 일반 법칙을 벗어나는 이들이 있었기 때문입니다. 명문대에 가지 못했지만 높은 임금을 받는 사람들이 있어 평균 임금 격차를 줄이고 있었던 건데요.
대학 간판이 무엇이냐가 어느 정도 임금 차이를 가져온다는 건 사실인데요. 그렇지 않은 친구들도 존재한다는 게 분명히 이 데이터에서 보여지는 거거든요. 낮은 수능 점수를 받아서 설사 안 좋은 대학에 갔더라도 그 친구가 기본적으로 능력이 있는 학생이기 때문에 거기서 열심히 노력해서 더 좋은 직장에 취업할 수도 있고, 그런 친구들의 노력을 통해서 상위권에 진학한 학생들과 임금 격차를 줄이는 역할을 하게 됩니다.